Oh, what are you looking at, buddy? Actually, with the way you're rotating, I suppose everywhere. Sorry, I retract my stupid question. Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is Dead by Dawn DC, the Mall. I'm pretty sure this was originally a Left 4 Dead 2 custom campaign, or at least a part of it, but now it's been ported over to Gary's Mod, and we are ready to explore. Ooh, and explore we shall. Look, there's a second level and everything, although I'm not sure if we'll be able to access it. Look, there's a skylight showing that, for the fact that you could have fooled me, it is in fact daylight. So I guess we're not Dead by Dawn? And maybe that's why there's no zombies. Actually, the zombie setting is why this is a little bit of a different setting from other mods or other malls I've explored on this channel. Normally, they aim to capture a more liminal aesthetic, and therefore, somewhat of a more dreamlike, impressionistic impression of a mall. I don't know, I think the reason malls are so popular of a setting for exploration is because even when they were in their heyday, they were something that was so packed and so open that it was always easy to imagine how creepy they would be if they were left empty like this. It's just that before we had a different idea of why they might be empty, in this case, a true apocalyptic scenario. As we can see, there's a lot of damage and sparks. The shutters are down over here. And judging by what may be blood on the ground, at least on that light, maybe we don't want to move beyond it. Actually, stylistically, this is reminding me a lot of the mall from the 2004 Dawn of the Dead remake. I remember there was like a little kiosk that they would hang out in over here. And in fact, the kiosk itself seems to be themed around it. That is such a cool detail. The kind of thing that just looks like one of those Solo Cup designs until you pay a little bit of closer attention. And that is a bloodstain. Okay, good. Just letting us know that it's going to be one of these sort of maps. Come on. But I don't think we really have anything to worry about. Now, despite presumably being fairly linear, if I am correct about where it comes from, it seems that we can explore some of the stores. So I'm just going to take a quick look back here. Delivery bay. Oh, never mind. We are more open than I thought. Okay, we're in business. Awesome. Oh, can we really not open these? This is quite a detailed showroom to not be an enterable interior. It looks really, really cozy in there. Which actually brings me to why I think there's two main attitudes when it comes to why an abandoned mall is so appealing. First of all, obviously the liminal aesthetic. Everyone's sort of been in a mall late at night when everyone's leaving, everything's closing down. And they sort of dim the lights, and there's areas totally in darkness, and they play that music that now just echoes throughout the corridors. And you sort of imagine what it would be like to be left in overnight, how it is very creepy and comfy. There you go. Oh, this one does open. But you also have to consider the fact that a mall contains just about any luxury or necessity you could ever want. I mean, when you're alone in a place like this, it's a kingdom for you to do whatever you want with. So many things to play with, so many spaces to explore, to make your own. I mean, look, we seem to have entered into the back of a Best Buy type of place. I mean, imagine never having to pay for anything, never having to answer to anyone, and all of it just right here. It's like having a whole city all to yourself where no one can tell you no. And it seems someone has been having a blast with that. Wow. Actually, given the holes in both walls, the emptiness of these shelves, it's almost like we're witnessing the aftermath of a successful teardown run. Right into the back of a clothing store, which is actually kinda creepy. Look, there's just like a regular window on the front with blinds over it. I had never considered the spookiness of a store in a mall that's completely closed off from the main hallway. Imagine just a hidden store behind the walls, which, I'm told from people who have worked security in malls that sometimes that happens. Sometimes when they remodel, they will just cover up an entire space, which is so bizarre to me, It is part of the reason why I'd love to be left alone in one overnight. Imagine the stuff you could find while exploring. Paintball. A paintball place inside a mall? I Hate Mountains, a Left 4 Dead story, as well as Two Evil Eyes. Well, I'd play those games. In fact, I would play that game and then buy an upgrade to the same game less than a year later. Still kind of annoyed about that, though I think we can safely say it worked out. Pills here. Only in America can medications advertise so openly, although I think this may be a bit of an exaggeration. I've always loved stuff like this. I mean, call it tacky, but these little pop-up displays in malls, I don't know, it just gives it such a personality from the drab tiles that they all kind of stay with now. If you notice that, you don't see stuff like this anymore, or at least rarely. Everything wants to look like a retirement home, even McDonald's. Kind of blinded by the sun a bit, but... looks like somebody was in the wrong place at the wrong time for a gas explosion. But yeah, it's not gonna let me leave. And honestly, at this stage, who would want to? In a mall. Really? An establishment such as this in a mall. This place is just continuing to surprise me. But, ooh, yep, it looks like there may be things to be found backstage. Hang on. Okay, we've still got a couple of things to check out, but yeah, this is actually not just a little Easter egg. In fact, I believe these indicate that during actual gameplay, this would be the way to a safe room. Huh, from this angle. Okay, I've got to do it, obviously. Yep! You gotta have fun where you can, otherwise it's not really a mall, is it? Oh, we gotta check every space. How come I'm getting the same energy from these stalls as those twins from The Shining? And there's no toilets in here. So now I'm thinking about what these might actually be for, and I'm not really coming up with any positive scenarios. Is that an openable door? No. That, however, might be. Ooh, actually, it's quite a lot. Ooh, we're getting into mall back rooms. I'm pretty sure these are Left 4 Dead things, but the prominence kind of makes me question if there's something more to it. Why is there always exactly one more door? And more importantly, why are these rooms and not just a hallway connecting it all? Okay, thank you for not being a real door. Although, the concept of not a real door is a creepy thought all its own if you divorce this from the video game context. Another thing I've heard from mall security guards is that, yes, walking down the maintenance halls is exactly as creepy as you'd expect. Yep. I'm sorry. Oh, well, thankfully, after the end of the world, you break it, you buy it, doesn't apply. Dawn of the Dead's Crossroads Mall. So it is actually a direct analog. Okay. A zone which has experienced some conflict. That's alright, we just gotta put our resolution caps on and be ready to resolve. What is this? Would this be like a dumbwaiter or something? Well, we're on the ground floor. That seems a bit unnecessary, but at least there doesn't seem to be anything here. I'm encountering a lot of far dead ends, and I'm wondering what those would be like in actual gameplay. I don't know, maybe there are places for like verses for special infected to spawn? Or maybe there are places to search, places where survivors might find weapons and other rewards for going off the beaten path. This is quite a large backstage. And that is quite a suspicious stain. I'd honestly be more comfortable with blood. This must be the dressing room. Zoe, I miss you, my angel. I know you're still out there. Don't wait for me. I still love you. Bindat? Daniel. I'm not sure what's supposed to be going on there. Oh, and there is a poster for not the 2004 remake, but the original Dawn of the Dead. I honestly love the Romero zombie movies. I mean, I love all zombie media, but I feel like Day of the Dead is probably his best work, but Dawn of the Dead is just so much fun. Yep. And honestly, it's actually probably the source of a lot of people's empty mall fantasies. I mean, that spent a good deal of time just on the things you can do screwing around in a mall. Oh my. A basement. Okay, where are we now? Doesn't look like a basement, rather just a lower level. And we won't be able to go back where we came from. Yeah, no, there's no climbing up this way. A stack of boxes across the hall is the universal sign for invisible wall. It's kind of creepy down here, actually. Like, it just looks like more mall, but it's so secluded. You're like the pink girl from the Pink Black maps. That's not gonna open. Of course, it's the, well, not gun shop, but pawn shop that apparently sells guns. Once again, this mall is crazy. I am not reversing my opinion. You know, for a zombie map, I really appreciate how sparingly this uses gore. Reason being, given the jibbiness in Left 4 Dead 2, there's plenty of room for the players to do that themselves, and really, what's a canvas unless you let the players paint it? In money we trust. So, do we heed the sign, or do we take it as encouragement? As if we have to ask. My God. I was jump scared by your texture and not the fact that it's a room full of corpses. Oh. This was a safe room that was compromised. Hence the paper up over the windows. I guess that door wasn't doing them any favors anymore. So, what's the deal with you? Okay, I think you may just be a bug. Or else some sort of really weird reference, because your friend over here looks normal. Something I really liked about the 70s movie was how they actually showed the effort of sealing off the mall and then painstakingly clearing out the interior. It made it feel so earned. Whereas in the remake, they just kind of found it empty and locked the doors. Actually, a lot of the doors were already locked to begin with. I'm trying to see if... Oh, there's the safe house right there, so that's where we're trying to get to. I was trying to see if this connects back to where we came from, but it doesn't appear that it does. I see you back there. Those little schemers, I've hated them ever since GM Shambles. I understand they're a popular garden ornament, but why? Like, why them specifically as the chosen image? I'm sure there's some kind of historical reason for it, but all I can think when I see a gnome is that they always look like they're up to something. They're mischievous little guys. It's all in the hat. That really is blinding. I am really impressed that holding up my hand actually blocks the sun. That's really cool. Okay, so I guess this was the food court. Don't know about you guys, but I'm off to Andy's gun shop to get me some 50 cal. Oh, look, he even did a cute little illustration. Oh yeah, Andy was the gun shop owner across the street in the movie. Does that actually work? I can't see if it actually did anything. Oh, we can step outside, but sadly not far. No, 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 no.
An old African proverb states that the white man's god is money. Here at Rico Bank, we recognize that your money is more important to you than anything or anyone else. Rico Bank. In money we trust.
Why was that a bigger jump scare than any of the bodies we found? Oh, I guess it takes a little bit. Well, it's a good thing there wasn't much to see out there anyway. I don't know whether to feel like I'm making this place safer or if I'm just trapping myself. But that's always been kind of the theme of zombie movies, hasn't it? Especially Romero films. The idea that your sanctum is also your tomb. You might feel safe in here, but for how long? And is this what you want the rest of your life to be like? Answer, it's usually better than the alternative. And I usually find that out by the end. Nothing back here. Actually, that maps really well onto the idea of the abandoned mall fantasy, doesn't it? Because, sure, it probably seems like heaven on earth at first, but what about 2 weeks later, a month later, a year later, 10 years? At a certain point, it will start to feel like a prison, just a very large one. Actually, I'm thinking closing those shutters would probably have been a crescendo event in gameplay. Okay, I can't open these doors, but what is that sound? Ah, it opened the security room. Can I just take a moment to appreciate that this is a really good-looking map? Like, it is so realistic. It doesn't even seem like Source. But what really bothers me is that we're going to be just shy of 1 million visitors. Okay, maybe I should open the gates and let 43 zombies in, just like, so that that doesn't bother me for the rest of my existence. Well, we're in. Can't push that button, though. Is there something else that's supposed to happen? Oh. I didn't expect that to open, much less onto nothing. It's entirely possible that I have entered the back rooms now. There's a security lanyard right there. Can I pick that up? Oh. Oh, okay. We're actually having to deal with, like, keys and such. Oh, who knows how much I might have missed before. Does that mean that I can open you now? No. Alright, but down here... No. Over here? No. Yep. Oh, this does break. I guess you were just too soft-headed. Hmm. I'm not seeing much of use, though. No? Yeah, once again, I'm pretty sure something's broken, and I'm just gonna have to Noclip. Yeah, at a certain point, I'm just gonna have to Noclip because I can't figure this out. There we go. And here we are, in the place of that bank we were just hearing the ad for. A whole lot of empty rooms. Once again, I feel like they've got all this space and they're just having back rooms for the sake of having back rooms. But then again, if you owned a mall, how would you build it? And this gets us around. Thankfully, the teardown run continued down here. But we're not done searching this yet. First, we've got to go back and see what was going on with those vents. Yep. No, it's just a drop down. Probably a place for zombies to pour out of. Through the wall it is, then. A sporting goods store. My Dead Rising brain is telling me you could arm up real good coming through here. But as with all Left 4 Dead maps, the goal is always just out of reach. The front doors, right adjacent to safe room, are closed shut. I've got to know, because I've seen a couple of these. Are these breakable? Should have known. And even more proof that they're not for us, but the zombies. I'd have to ask the question just how many of them managed to get up there and why. But we're back. We're on the other side of the grate now. This is so cool. By using these security shutters, you can make it so that you kind of have a preview of just where you're coming and going from all the time. All right, the end's got to be somewhat in reach, right? God, I just love that dark upper level, you know? You can just imagine someone up there peering down at you. All those plants overhanging. I guess there's good compost around at least. Alright, we can't get beyond there. Not that there's really anywhere to go, but... Look at all these bags. I guess this is where they were just piling everything up. Maybe there was some kind of military presence here in the beginning, but it's long since abandoned. Nothing here but somebody's personal computer. I guess I like to imagine there's like this one underpaid security guard who sees the end of the world happening all around him, and he boots up Counter-Strike and he's like, there's time now. That is the highest false ceiling I've ever seen. Like, at that point, why even build the building that tall? Oh boy, we're gonna have to walk right over you. Let me just scooch around you there. God, imagine you step on one of them and your foot sinks in. And there we go. That should be the end. Close. And play the music. Look how comfy this feels. The lights are all on. It's got all the amenities, couches, coffee, everything. It's always such a good feeling when you reach the end of a Left 4 Dead map and you just feel like you can finally breathe a sigh of relief, you know? After all the hectic chaos, probably a whole lot of things on your heels as you close that door. But in a map like this, it's got to be even worse, you know? How they keep teasing you with what might be a safe room, and it just keeps getting worse and worse, farther and farther away, even though you can see it. And just imagine, with all the different places zombies can come from, this map must be a nightmare, especially on the higher difficulties. We're not quite done yet, because we still haven't seen the loading bay. But look, if we come over here, there's the area with the closable gate that we just came from. And it's now that I'm realizing that this map actually isn't all that big. I mean, it's sprawling. It's got so many different details and interiors and back alleys. But in terms of actual, like, size, it's pretty condensed. In fact, I bet if we were to Noclip right now, look, from right here, right there, it's all right around the corner from itself, but it uses such clever obstructions and barriers to make the most out of what it's got. That is some clever map design to keep you constantly running in a loop and yet never feeling like you're retreading the same ground. But we've got to go see what's in the delivery bay. And looking off into the darkness and the bare concrete and brick, I can't help but think of the parking garage from the remake. Open door back there that we can't access. And it seems at this time that the doors have already been barricaded. I'm assuming this map is just one of a larger campaign. In fact, I'm pretty sure we actually saw a poster further back that showed one of those maps. I imagine right here is probably where the survivors would enter, and then they would follow pretty much the path that we did going through here. It's always so cool when you can actually, like, picture the experience. It's kind of making me want to try this in Left 4 Dead. Should be a lot of fun, actually. But anyway, that was Dead by Dawn DC, the mall. And it's really, really cool. I mean, it's clearly very gameplay rather than exploration-oriented, and yet there's still so many details that I had no problem going through with an exploration mindset. It's got things like gore and places that are walled off, and yet it's enough of a blank canvas that you can see all the potential different scenarios playing out. Places where we can decide to go through like the smaller, more cramped side stores, or try and stay in the wider, more visual hallway. Everywhere I looked, I was imagining, what if zombies pour in through here? What if you get stuck in this back area? And so it's really quite open while being a very guided experience, and all the while, so awesomely detailed and really faithful as an adaptation of the mall from the movie. I don't know how accurate it is to the actual mall itself, but it certainly got the same spirit and style. And it's cool how it just wears its inspirations literally as dressing. I remember years and years ago being really excited because somebody on the Left 4 Dead forums posted a gameplay trailer of a campaign they were working on featuring the Crossroads Mall. They even had the Johnny Cash song from the intro of the remake. And I was really, really hyped for it, and I don't think I ever saw it come out. Maybe this is that. Of course, I would have long ago stopped following it, so for all I know, this could have existed for years and only just made its way to Gary's Mod. But what a way to finally experience it if so. But now would be a very good time, I think, for a Noclip run. Yep. Oh, wow. There's actually a whole network of vents running along the whole ceiling. What happens if we decide to come up to the second level? Some of these places even do have signs. That's what I love. I mean, if you're gonna have a location that's just filled with advertising, you might as well use it to stuff the place with references, right? Banana. Oh. Yeah, I guess up here is really a second level that is meant to be seen probably by the special infected. Ow! No! I think we may have stumbled upon a secret. Huh. Now playing Bela Lugosi, the human monster. They came back? Oh, I think I actually saw that once. But all we can do here is kind of press our noses against the glass. Oh, God. Imagine if a player were just kind of looking in here, trying to peer through, thinking it's just dark. And then, boom, smoker, just jump scare right there. Actually, when I Noclip out, I see one of the doors is on the ground. Oh, I just didn't notice this. Hang on. Let me through. Yeah, no, this is just straight up player accessible. Huh. I wonder if these black lines aren't just a weird quirk of the port. Hang on, will you break? No, but the stuff in there will. Anything back here? Nope, nothing but a TV playing static. And an open book. Well, it must be destructible in some way because there's a vent back here, so there must be some reason for that to exist, right? All right, let's have more of a look around. Wow, at this rate, there's as much to see on the Noclip run as there is in the actual Explorer. You're a strange-looking vent. Why are you textured not like the others? You take us to the collapsed ceiling. Look at that. And yeah, there's a lot more freedom of movement from up here. It's kind of like how I've always seen the view of the special infected in a Versus game, It's like they're the puppeteers up in the rafters, just kind of looking down and trying to find ways to mess with you. I always loved playing as the infected. Let's see what else we can see. What if we step outside a bit? The exterior is actually somewhat consistent. It's got a whole front facade and everything, and this goes right down to here. Although I must say, as I was saying, I'm still not entirely sure what the deal with this sound is supposed to be. That's so gross. Why is this here? What is it intended to represent? There's nothing up here that I can see. But you know what? What about the gun shop down below? There is a door back here. There is graffiti. Maybe there was supposed to be a way to open it? No. Well, there is a room back here. There's a security room. Very strange. Maybe cut content, or maybe something that would have worked in the map itself. In any case, for as sprawling as this place is, and for how it probably takes even longer to navigate when you're constantly being attacked by zombies from every angle, including through that wall. Look at that. It's just so cool how small this whole thing really is. I mean, it's real impressive design, and honestly really smart design. And feels more like a cohesive space that constantly references itself when you're able to look back. But in any case, this was a ton of fun, and it's just visually gorgeous to look at. I mean, look at the way the light falls through those grates. And I'm probably just going to end up spending some time living the fantasy here for a little while because, hey, we're here. Me and my creepy little buddy. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one. There's no room in the small for two. However, buoyancy is making this drowning attempt a little bit more hilarious than it should be. There we go. Oop. Okay, screw it, your magic. You'll have your part of the mall and I'll have mine.